Tonight at 6, Kent State may be the home for a new form of birth control for men. Figure out how researchers are making it happen.
Portage County is offering relief from the cold to those in need. View the details atop the hour.
Following the storming of President Diacon's office, a student group on campus held an emergency meeting last night. We'll have more on this story ahead.
Happy Valentine's Day, Portage County. I hope you all have that special someone to stay warm with because it is bone-chilling outside. Stay tuned to see how long this bitter cold will last. TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Portage County. Thanks for tuning in this Friday. I'm Shaquiena Davis.
And I'm Gajda. We start tonight with some interesting medical developments right here on campus.
Yes, and our reporter Halee Sepulveda has what those developments are. Halee?
Thanks, guys. Researchers on Kent's campus are in the process of applying for grants for a new form of birth control specifically aimed towards men and sperm fertility. Inside the Science Research Building, graduate students Suvik Day and Allah Isa are working along with a Kent State professor of biological sciences to create a contraception drug that emphasizes preventing sperm fertility.
And you can immediately see, the contraceptive potential of this, because blocking hyperactivation or blocking epididymal sperm maturation are two places where you can cause infertility.
Calcineurin is a protein present in the brain and plays a part in the immune response in mammals, but a different form of calcineurin is found in sperm. Through lab testing done on mice, the professor and his team have found that if this protein is removed from the sperm, the mice become infertile.
My work also helps in improving techniques for managed reproduction in vitro fertilization.
The professor said that unlike other forms of birth control, the new form of contraception will work in both males and females to inhibit the sperm, preventing hyperactivation.
Ideally, what people have been wanting to get is a male contraceptive that can be used in the male. Right. That's what is lacking now.
Although it will be a while before the contraception drug is distributed in the form of an injection, the professor and his team are confident that it will have a great impact in the world of safe sex. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Halee Sepulveda.
It's really a very interesting report. Thank you, Halee. Staying here in Portage County, where County Commissioner Kathleen Clyde is upset with the state officials for their portioning of Ohio's $1 billion opioid settlement. Clyde said state officials are keeping too much money and aren't giving enough to local governments. With the current settlement, Kent has the potential to receive around $450,000.
And a teen has been indicted for allegedly attempting to blow up buildings associated with Cuyahoga Falls High School. 18-year-old Alan Martin Kenna is charged with attempted use of explosive device and interstate communication of threat. Reports also said Kenna had been talking for months about shooting people at school during lunch hour. Cuyahoga Falls police took items from Kenna's home that could be used to make an explosive device, along with gun, magazines, ammunition, and knives.
Portage County has opened a warming center today and tomorrow to help those battling with these freezing temperatures. The Ravenna Center of Hope is open to those in need of somewhere warm from 3 p.m. to 9 a.m. both today and tomorrow. PARTA will be offering free transport to the center for passengers on buses before 9 a.m. along the Ravenna-Kent route.
And Christopher Hanna of Canton, Ohio, who has been a janitor with Akron Public Schools since 2014, has been arrested and charged with receiving and distributing child pornography. The affidavit filed for the case states that Hanna told an undercover law enforcement officer he'd been drilling holes in the walls between his office and the Miller South girls' bathroom. Though the FBI believed no students were actually involved in the pornography, Hanna is currently an unpaid administrative leave and facing federal charges.
Reverend Ernest Angley and his church have denied accusations that he sexually assaulted and harassed a former associate pastor at the Grace Cathedral in Cuyahoga Falls. The church claims that Brock Miller made up the allegations in order to receive a large payoff and damage the well-known televangelist's reputation. The two sides will meet in a private mediation session at the Summit County Common Pleas Court later today.
And a proposed state bill will ban Ohio drivers from the use of any and all handheld wireless devices while driving. The State Highway Patrol reported that last year was the second deadliest year in a decade for device-related accidents. The bill, which has support from a handful of state leaders as well as insurance companies and safety groups, will effectively make distracted driving a primary offense.
The Hands-Free Ohio bill, sponsored by Senators Kunze and O'Brien, will make using any handheld wireless device behind the wheel a primary offense. Law enforcement, after this bill becomes law, will be able to immediately stop drivers who are using their devices. They will not have to wait until something terrible happens.
So it seems like the weather just keeps coming, keeps getting colder. You know, there is snow on the ground, but
a lot of snow.
A lot.
The last few days, yeah,
Definitely.
that's for sure.
Our own Kyle Miller can tell us how long these bitterly cold temps will last. Kyle?
Thank you very much, Jacob and Shaquiena. Like I said, it is bitterly cold outside right now. 17 degrees right now, feels like 11 with a little bit of wind, but I would advise definitely a good night to stay inside if you don't have any plans for Valentine's Day. Speaking of, the date night forecast, very important for tonight at around 9 p.m. as you might be heading out or getting back. Going to drop to 11 degrees with a little bit of wind, but clear starry skies, clear of clouds to make for a romantic night out. Although I do not advise going stargazing for tonight. And looking at the hourly, in the words of Todd Diacon, it's cold, it's getting colder, and it's going to get warmer. Enough said. Dropping down to 9 degrees at midnight tonight for anyone who's out late, and tomorrow morning getting up to 12 degrees with sunshine all through tomorrow. That is all I have for right now. I'm Kyle Miller. Back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Kyle. Kent State's College of Communication and Information announced today that they have hired a new director of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, Dr. Emily Metzger. The current undergraduate director of the media school at Indiana University will begin her job as a JMC director July 1st of this year. Prior to her role at Indiana University, Metzger spent time at various organizations such as the U.S. Information Agency and the U.S. Department of State.
And a Bath Township man was arrested Tuesday for his alleged role in a cryptocurrency laundering scheme. Authorities say 36-year-old Larry Harmon laundered more than $300 million in cryptocurrency. This money was then used by customers to make illegal purchases on the dark web. Federal magistrates have announced Harmon will be federally tried in Washington, D.C.
And the owner of Chapel Hill Mall in Akron has purchased a mall in Ashtabula Township for $10.2 million. According to the news report, the Akron Mall is being foreclosed by Summit County for non-payment of taxes and is being sued by First Energy for non-payment of utility bills. And business owner Mike Cohan told Star Beacon News that he plans to increase mall traffic along with many ideas for bringing in potential tenants. But when we return, to Kent State student organizations continues the mark of history.
And a couple of inches of snow blanket the ground right now. And we expect to see a few inches added on. Find out next during my full weather forecast.
And after the break, the Justice Department's controversial decision to not charge a former FBI deputy director and how President Trump is reacting. TV2 will be back in 90 seconds.
Kent State's Spring Internship, Co-op, and Career Fair will be held on February 20th from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. in the Student Recreation and Wellness Center. This event is open to all students, all majors, all Kent State campuses, and all alumni that are seeking internships, co-ops, full-time, part-time, and on-campus student employment opportunities. For more information about the drop-in session schedule or the Career Fair, please visit kent.edu/career or register in the Handshake app.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back. The presidents of Cuyahoga Community College, Case Western Reserve University, and Cleveland State University are planning to meet this month to discuss discourse and civility on college campuses. The discussion, hosted by the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, will begin February 26 before the Ohio primary in March and the 2020 presidential election, and will be at Tri-C's Corporate College East and is also free to the public. And Fifth Third Bank has fired a small number of employees who stole customer information and gave it to others in what was an orchestrated fraud ring. The Cincinnati-based bank said it has identified about 100 customers who were victims of fraud. It is not known yet if any employees will face charges.
You may want to wash your hands an extra time or two today, as flu-related doctors' visits are up 271% in Cuyahoga County. Officials from the Ohio Department of Health say these numbers suggest a worse than usual flu season that could stretch well into spring. The ODH encourages all Ohioans to get a flu shot and say it's never too late to get vaccinated.
As Black History Month continues, one of Kent State's historical organizations shows how they're keeping history alive. Reporter Dante Centofanti has more. Dante?
Thank you. Kent State University has a rich tradition in activism, and this week was a showcase of that history brought to light by the Black United Students of SDS of campus.
It was a meeting of minds Thursday night at Oscar Ritchie Hall, the headquarters of the Black United Students of Kent State, as well as the meeting ground. They and the Students for a Democratic Society met last night to go over once again the demands they gave Kent State President Todd Diacon earlier in the week regarding the upcoming commemoration of the May 4th, 1970 tragedy, as well as student wages.
I just hope that he, reads the demands and realizes the justice in them, and that he sits down and, engages in a good faith discussion with, all of the organizations involved. Yes. Yeah. So Patrick and I sort of delivered the demands to Dr. Drummer together, and members of our sort of coalition were all present.
I spoke with Patrick earlier today to discuss the future of the movement on Portage Pulse.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be very eventful. I would want it to be as insightful to the community as any other event. But yeah, please come out.
He is transparent and he tells what's going on, and he doesn't overlook that like nothing happened. I just feel like that transparency piece is important, because that is stated in the demands, and that is something that the students asked for, and that was a big grievance within that as well. So that can be his first step to addressing those demands and those needs of the students, by being transparent on what happened and letting the community know, like, I know what's going on.
You can catch my full sit-down with President Ferguson and the rest of the bus leaders tonight at 7 o'clock on Portage Pulse. I'm Dante Centofanti. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dante. Akash Akhtan, County Board of Elections member, fired back in her resignation letter to the Secretary of State, Frank LaRose, after he forced her out of her office over security concerns. Jetta Menser wrote to LaRose stating that his demand was inaccurate. Allegations stated that Menser did not have a secure network and didn't want to set one up on a non-secure network until she got home. Dispatch is currently seeking comments from LaRose's office.
The Ohio Department of Education is set to place the Waterloo School District on financial caution, regardless of how a proposed school levy goes in March. The school district has racked up large debts after a number of levies have failed in recent years. The district says they will have to let go of more staff if they are unable to secure funding.
And Cleveland Parks teased yesterday one of its residents is pregnant and due very soon. And today, after much anticipation, the zoo used social media to announce their orangutan is expecting. Kara Walk, or Kara, one of the zoo's 3 female, is due to give birth soon. This will be Kara's second offspring with sire Taram, following the birth of her first, Mara, in October of 2014.
Welcome back, Portage County. Taking a look at the Northeast Ohio temperatures, you can see that it is still pretty bitter. 17 in Cleveland and Sandusky, and then as you go farther north, 15 in Ashtabula, and staying consistent with that about 17 to 15 range going down south towards Worcester and Canton. Looking around the state, 18 in Steubenville, 15 again over in Lima, but as you get further south, you are going to get warmer. 24 in Cincinnati with 18 in my hometown of Dayton and 24 in Athens. And as you can see, we're not going to be seeing much precipitation in the near future. Clear skies are abound for us for the next couple days. You can see the only snow systems that are in the area right now are down towards the Cincinnati to Chillicothe area. Up in Kent, we're clear for a couple days. As you can see in our 7-day forecast, over the weekend it's going to be pretty sunny for us. Just a little bit of clouds on Saturday and on Sunday. The clouds are going to come with pretty good coverage on Monday, leading to a little bit of rain Tuesday. But luckily for us, only one day for right now, as the temperature does start to increase a little bit throughout the week. Partly sunny on Thursday to finish off the end of next week. That's all I have for right now. Tune in on Monday for an updated forecast. With TV2 News, I'm Kyle Miller.
Thanks, Kyle. The Trump administration is planning to spend an additional $3.8 billion on defense. The money is expected to be spent on fighter jets, ships, and other vehicles, as well as President Trump's border wall on the southern border with Mexico.
Let's say this much: border security is national security, and national security is our mission. I think many NATO allies understand that as well. The action we took is legal under the law. I think it should be no surprise, and I'll just leave it at that for now.
And nearly 66,000 marijuana convictions in Los Angeles County are soon to be dismissed as a result of Proposition 64. Passed back in 2016, the proposition legalized recreational marijuana and provided an appeals process for marijuana-related convictions. No official date has been released, but the state predicts over 200,000 cases will be eligible for conviction relief.
I can tell you also, Director Comey enjoyed broad support within the FBI and still does to this day. We are a large organization. We are 36,500 people across this country, across this globe. We have a diversity of opinions about many things.
The Justice Department announced today that former FBI Director Andrew McCabe will not be charged following an allegation that he lied to investigators about a leak to the media. The alleged falsification stems from McCabe stating he didn't know who authorized an aid. They said the aide talked to the Wall Street Journal about the FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation. McCabe always has maintained he has done nothing wrong and called himself the victim of political vengeance at the hands of President Trump. Parda bus riders were greeted by a special guest. Who that guest was, after the break.
And the Kent State track team is in action this weekend at the Fieldhouse. Find out more when we come back.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hello, I'm Michael Reiner, and this is your TV2 Sports Report. The Kent State track and field team is in action right now in the Doug Raymond James National Qualifier. The women's throwing events are going on tonight. Sophomore Gabby Bailey had a personal record of 52 feet and 11 inches in the Akron dual meet on January 24th. Grace Tennant ranks 40th in the shot put in the nation. On the men's side, Jake Weike ranks 24th in the weight throw. Events will continue tomorrow morning at 10:30. And Play Ball Flashes Baseball is underway this evening from the great state of Florida as Kent State takes on the Hawkeyes of Iowa University. The Flashes are coming off an up and down 30-24 season last year, but the Flashes are looking to get off to a hot start against the Hawkeyes. Iowa is leading 2-0 in the 6th inning, and the game is currently in the 6th. For more updates, follow Kent State Baseball on Twitter. And while everything's bigger in Arlington, Texas, Kent State usually takes care of Akron, but this time Kent State softball took down different Roos. The Flashes beat the Kansas City University Kangaroos by the whopping score of 13-5. Sabrina Kirshner has been unreal for the Flashes as she scored 4 runs in the game. The Flashes came back from a 5-0 deficit to move on to 2-0. They play Texas Southern tonight at 6 p.m. And it will be Autism Awareness Night in the Mack Center tomorrow afternoon when the Ohio Bobcats come to town to take on the Flashes. Kent State has lost 5 of their last 8 games. This is the first game since the Flashes lost a heartbreaker to Northern Illinois on Friday, February 7th. The Flashes are 6-5 in the MAC East, and the remaining 7 games are critical for the Flashes' success heading into the MAC tournament. Tip-off is at 1 p.m. And this Valentine's Day weekend, I'll be snuggling up with my pillow and watching some sports. Here's the Reiner Rundown. The DC Defenders are in action in the XFL as they take on the New York Guardians at 2 p.m. Next, we have Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers taking on #1 Baylor Bears in men's basketball. And last but not least, it's Hockey Afternoon in America as the Detroit Red Wings head to Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. And the Blue Jackets were in action last night in Buffalo against the Sabres. Let's take a look. And here, the Blue Jackets had a 2-0 lead, but here's Jack Eichel. He's going to take it in for the score here. He's so good because his name rhymes with Michael. Moving on, the Sabres would score again. This time, it's Evan Rodriguez. He's going to take it himself and score. What a play there for Buffalo, and it's all tied. But the Blue Jackets, they would strike next, as here is Bjorkstrand to Foligno, and then to Niedervara. He jams it in, but we're going into overtime. Unfortunately, to finish it off, it's Victor Olofsson. He's going to score, and the Sabres would win it in OT 4-3.
Goal for the Jackets. When we come back, the College Voice has some advice for us, for those who are not with Valentine's mates this season. Stick with us.
Every one of us has a voice, and every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Welcome back. Kent State's president took many new steps on campus. Our reporter Welleed has more. Welleed?
Kent State President Todd Diacon took initiative to show his students he cares
in an interesting way. Take a look.
We're going to be out there riding the bus with you. We're going to be engaged in those experiences alongside you that make Kent State such a university, such a wonderful place.
In an effort to gain a more close relationship with students, President Todd Diacon rode part of buses today. And what better time than National Bus Day?
I feel like it's pretty wholesome. It's something you got to have a heart to do, really reach out to your students and stuff.
The president even came armed with donuts and scarves.
I like it a lot, and it was really nice because it's super cold today, so having the scarves made it a lot better.
Many students met President Diacon for the first time, and a new sense of respect and appreciation for their administration was discovered.
I thought it was really cool. Like, he got to sit next to me, and like I had no idea who he was. I think he was just talking to me, and I was like, oh my God.
President Diacon, more than the policies, it is the people who really matter.
Yeah, he doesn't always have to be working. He can always help his students out.
Like, he represents Kent State, so I feel like that to represent, he has to know what's going on campus. The only way to do that is to be on campus, not in his office.
This showed what President Diacon is willing to do to make Kent the place they know and love.
Flashes take care of flashes.
Lovely gesture on a very lovely day. For TV2 News, I'm Welleed El-Mobasher.
Welleed, today is Valentine's Day, but not everyone has someone to spend the day with. The College Voice has some tips for you that will help you fall in love with yourself.
Not having a Valentine can be a lonely feeling, but it doesn't have to be. Being alone doesn't mean you have to be lonely. There are plenty of ways to make your Valentine's Day special without having a significant other. My first suggestion is to celebrate with your single friends. Since they're single, they're probably feeling the same way you do and would love to spend the day together. You can go out, get dressed up, take pictures, and just do all the things that you guys love to do together. My second suggestion is to buy a gift for someone special. Take advantage of the Valentine's Day specials in stores and buy a gift for a loved one, like your friend, your mom, your grandma. This could be a teddy bear and some candy, or some nice jewelry if you got it like that. This is a great way to make the people in your life feel loved and appreciated, and that's what Valentine's Day should be about. My third and last suggestion is to have a self-care day. Self-care is so important, and what's a better day to show love to yourself than Valentine's Day? You can make time to do all the things that you wouldn't otherwise make time to do, such as going shopping, getting your hair done, going to the movies, or catching up on sleep. It's the perfect day to treat yourself. I hope all these ideas help make your Valentine's Day special. Don't forget to get all the candy on sale afterwards.
Well, certainly some very useful advice there. Todd Diacon is everywhere. He was here yesterday. He's on part of buses today. I mean, what can't the guy do?
Very helpful for him to be on the bus with some scarves because you are going to need them for the rest of the week. Very bitter temperatures today, as I said earlier. And going into Saturday and Sunday, it will warm up a little bit to the low 40s, continuing into Tuesday, but that is not going to last too long.
Thanks, Kyle. That is our report this Friday evening. Thank you for sticking with us.
Stick with TV2 and Kent Wired on social media for the latest headlines. I'm Jacob Gajda.
And I'm Shaquiena Davis. Have a great night, Portage County.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.